Alright, so round 2 of Vintage Challenge. We're 1-0 playing Karn Pio, and we're probably up against Shops. Almost assuredly up against Shops. This is a very good Shops hand, so we're going to play it. You're allowed to root against me. That's perfectly fine. This hand is just going to kill him on turn 1, probably. We're going Ruby, Soul Ring, Top, Lotus, Pio with our Academy, you draw 4 kind of thing. You know, classic, fair, balanced, vintage Magic starts. This is why you need to restrict Pio. I have 4 Pios in my deck. Though, you know, you could also say the same about like I don't know, like a Belcher hand, right? This hand folds to Force of Will. Kind of. I have a top, so not really, but like it kind of folds to Force of Will. It just so happens that this guy's gonna try to play artifacts against me, and he's just not gonna have a Force of Will, and we're gonna just kill him on turn 1. So, well, that's not true. We're drawing 5 cards off the top of our deck. Those 5 cards could just be nothing. So maybe we don't kill him on turn 1, but we put in so much mana on turn 1 that he can't restrict us in any way. We didn't hit too much. We did hit Demonic Tutor. We have Vault Key. We hit Vault Key, so that's game. Wait, did we hit Vault Key? Tutor. Oh, we 2, 6 mana, 4 mana. Yep, exactly. I'm pretty sure he's still playing Shops, yeah. Alright, turn 1 kill. God bless. We're just gonna put a Blightsteel into play. Or I guess we can do that. He's just trying. No. We're not gonna show him Karn log T1. We're just gonna Blightsteel him. I probably shouldn't even have shown him Seed of the Cyanon. It was a little bit of a mistake on my part. I wanted to show him as little as possible. I shouldn't have shown him Seed. The Seed was the only thing out of the ordinary here. I definitely don't want to show him Karn. I definitely should have not played Seed. I was just trying to get up to Blightsteel Colossus mana as fast as possible. So we're playing against Shops. I have a nice Shops plan. It's 4 Hurkyl's Recall, 2 Toxic Deluge. And I board in Ancient Tomb Island. And I board out some Thoughtcasts. And I board out I don't have enough cards board out. I'll port out some preordains. And yikes, I do not have enough cards to board out. I board out Yogwell. And I board out. I don't really need a Snapcaster Mage. I kind of just want to Erayo him. Yeah, it probably wouldn't impact it much, but there's no reason to, so. I'm like kind of down to Erayo him. It's pretty bad on the draw, though. He has like a sphere. We'll take it out on the draw. And so we took out Preordains, Thoughtcast, couple Thoughtcasts, Yogwill, Snap, and Erayo. We left in Tinkerblight Steel. We left in Karn. We left in Vault Key, Time Walk. I guess Preordain's better than Brainstorm here. Left in Forces. I don't really like Repeal versus him, but I think it's fine here. Oh, we don't have a Hercules in the main in this deck, so we're only boarding into 3 Hercules. That's a little. I didn't really think about that. I kind of cooked this one up a little bit 5 minutes before, so I was moving a couch up until a little bit before. This hand's pretty good. We'll keep this hand. We have like a million islands in our deck, so we should be pretty safe against Wasteland. See what he goes with here. Yeah, dude, it was just a fair, balanced game of Vintage that happens, you know, just sometimes. Yeah, dude. PO is a 46 card deck where 14 cards just don't matter. It doesn't matter. It actually just doesn't matter. Which is kind of part of the problem. It's cool because I get to play like Bomberman 1 week and then Psy the next week, and you know, pretty much, friend. Pretty much. That's a good start for him. That's 4 mana. Any sphere effect's pretty good against our hand, so. I mean, I'm never mulliganing this hand, so it doesn't really matter. We just gotta play through what he presents to us. He can't play another Thorn because he only has 2 mana, but he can play a creature spell. So we could see Arcbound Ravager, Steel Overseer here, or like a Walking Ballista for 1. Counter our Erayo. Erayo. Our plays are pretty much the same. We're gonna play a Polluted Delta to play around Strip Mine, and we're gonna pass the turn probably, unless we draw Mox, in which case we will just play an island and a Mox. Yeah, our lines don't really change. It's gonna be unfortunate if he does have a Steel Overseer here. I'll start giving him a clock. But if he has a Ravager, it's not good for us either, but it's fine. Doesn't get bigger automatically. We'll have to see what he decides to do. He's in the tank, as it were. Leaves us to think about our many, many options that he gave us by making all of our spells cost 1 more with his powerful, restricted magic card. Unfortunate, really. I do think I'm going to board back Erayo on the play. I think that's kind of reasonable. Alright, he has decided he does not have a play. So it's now our turn where we're going to play a land and pass. That's not bad. Yep, can't do anything about that. So now his next... He didn't have a creature before, but if he has another... Alright. We are gonna have to do an early Hercules. Fuck, on the 4th turn. I don't know. It's 2 spheres is a lot of spheres, unfortunately. So next turn we get to play a Soul Ring, and the turn after that we get to Hercules, and then we can untap and start to develop our board a little more. We're not under a huge clock, so as long as it's not like really large creatures or more spheres, we'll probably be fine. But another sphere here is going to put me in a really difficult situation, or a strip mine will put me in a really difficult situation. This puts me on a 4-turn clock, which is okay. A Metamorph here is really bad. I wish we had a Force in this hand. A Revoker, not too bad depending on how psychic he is. I assume he names Lotus. Yeah. Alright, so as long as this Soul Ring doesn't get revokered, we should be okay to continue playing Magic. I'm really glad this is restricted, because, okay, yeah, Wasteland, sure. We have enough islands that that's not a big deal. He's probably in awe of the amount of islands we have, actually. I'm not going to play Mana Vault, I'm going to play Soul Ring. So, he's got 1 card in hand. He's got 7 damage attacking us this turn, so 2-turn clock. Which is good, because we have a recall, but unfortunately— No! Andy, you monster! Alright, so we have to rip, like, fetch land off the top, unfortunately. God. I had no Force this game, so I just never had a chance. I didn't have a Mox. If I had a Mox, I would have had a chance. I needed a Mox or a Force, unfortunately. I had neither. I still have an out of fetch land. Non-basic is also fine. Deluge is not an out. Would be an out if I had Black Source. I kept a 3-lander, I just drew no lands. There are no outs. This costs 4, right? Yeah. Alright. It's unfortunate for sure. We didn't have too many. Alright, let's bring our boy back in. And let's take out a we feel so bad. I just don't want to play that card. Alright, on the play versus shops now, so we have a much better shot of winning. I think the difference between being on the play and on the draw versus shops is just so light and day, it's kind of insane. Night and day. I said light and day. Those are the same things. So, how much fast mana? I can't play this hand. This hand's sweet. Like, I got a lot of mana, but I have to draw exactly... I don't have that many cantrips in my deck anymore, so I have to draw exactly action in the top card. It's a pretty bad hand versus No Rod. It's pretty good hand against any kind of sphere effects. Like, I get to lead with Island, Sapphire, Opal. Am I really considering this hand? There are definitely better 6s than this. There are definitely worse 6s than this. I think it's too greedy to keep this hand. I think I'm too much on the edge. If this hand had like one preordain in it, I would, like, over an island, I would snap it off. Or a Thoughtcast. If this hand had a Thoughtcast in it, I would snap it off. If it even had a PO in it, I think I would snap it off. But I think I'm gonna mulligan it. You know, immediately into like one of the kind of garbage hands. These are like really bad hands, but I don't think I can mulligan this one either, so really unfortunate. Let's see what we scry. That card's really bad. This might also just be a mulligan. I'm gonna hold this preordain, I think. This hand might actually just be worse than the hand that I mulliganed. I just don't think I can keep the other hand without at least one card draw spell. If it had a Karn, that hand would be unreal. If it had, yeah, just anything else besides a land as the 5th land. This hand might just cost me the game, though. This is a pretty bad hand. I have a force for one of his plays. I just don't have another mana source. So, like, I can't fetch Underground Sea. I have to fetch Island. I guess I'm just supposed to preordain on turn 1 there, actually. I wanted more information on my situation and maybe to be able to use Forcible Pitching Preordain, but I think Forcible Pitching Harkle's Recall is probably a more likely thing that's going to happen this game. I'm not happy with where we're at. Fortunate, really. I can definitely have mulled the 5, but this Mox Opal is like a blank, so I mean, would I have kept this 5? Probably. So this 5 is definitely better with a Mox Opal. I mean, my Scry was obviously really bad because I had a really bad card in my deck. One mana? Alright. Three mana? I'm probably going to counter a Sphere. A Null Rod. I don't think I'm countering Null Rod. I have a Harkle's Recall. I think I'm leaving that. Got a Volt Scourge in his deck? Okay. Well, that gives me something to pitch the Force, so that's not the worst thing that's ever happened. I do need to hit some lands here, though. Land Bobble. So we can bottom and top and play an island. So we have Harkle's Recall, and if we hit a fetch, we have a Deluge Wipe. He currently is on just Tomb Scourge. This is not a good game. We're really far behind in cards. Foundry Inspector. Chief of the Foundry. Yeah, that's fine. We do need to hit our fetch land, though. We hit a seat where it's pretty bad. We hit a Lotus. I mean, we can always Harkle's Recall back, too. So we have some time here. As long as we don't draw a Strip Mine. It's for the mirror, I guess. Not really sure. It's like an aggro shops build. We need one more mana rock. We need like one more Mox before we can feel comfortable like Harkle's Recall POing. So we're gonna take 4, maybe 6 here. I'd love to drop fetch land, but most likely we'll just draw Seed of the Cyanide, because that's how I built my deck. Looks like he's standing up. So this is 7. Doesn't kill me right away. If he doesn't... Oh, he's got another Scourge, okay. So this is 7, and then it's 9 next turn. So... the problem with Hurkyl's recalling this turn is that I don't get to do anything. And then he gets to play 2 Scourges. I think I'm taking this one. Oh, that was only to 10, so it's not lethal next turn. 3, 7. Oh, he's got 2 factories. That's unfortunate. Now it's lethal in combat. I think Mox is one of my better draws. I guess I need a blue spell if I want to counter Null Rod now. Thanks, man. I'm pretty weak to win this game. It's my own fault. I think I was supposed to mulligan my 5. My 7 was... I just don't think I can keep my 7. I wanted to keep my 7. It always feels bad to lose a shot. I think you're pretty favored. I could have forced Null Rod, but that doesn't seem correct. So my best draw... What's my best draw? My best draw is just... My best draw is... Oh my god. My best draw was Underground Sea, but I didn't draw Underground Sea, so... I'm probably dead. Because now I have to Hurkyl's, and I have to pitch forced payout on PO to counter Null Rod. We'll see. Hopefully he just sends for lethal with Ancient Tomb Factories, and so then he can only replay 2 mana worth of cards. We're not 100% dead, but we sure as hell are not in a good spot. Actually, we will get to Toxic Deluge if we counter Null Rod, or he chooses not to play Null Rod. So we could be in an okay spot here. It's only 6 damage on the field right now. If he attacks and doesn't activate his factories and instead plays Ballista, they can't activate abilities, so that's fine. We could be okay here. We definitely can't take damage here, though. It's a little unfortunate. Man, and he thinks through his actions a lot. I mean, he's a smart guy and clearly a great player. But you have like 3 lines with Workshop. Maybe that's not true. Maybe his 3 cards are really interesting and they make the complex board state. Or maybe he's figured out the best way to play around Hurkyl's. I don't know. I really haven't had many choices this game, so I guess that's kind of just how it is. Please, Andy, put me out of my misery. Take me to church. I believe in a thing called shops. Alright, here we go. Here we go. No, not that. So, it's actually pretty good for us because... No, we're still gonna get no routed. Well, he found the best line. Though, if we in response Hercules recall, he then has to pay 1 for his Mox or 3 for his No Rod, which means he'll just attack with Mishra's Factory. And then we get to PO for 1. No, we don't get to PO. If I Hercules recall in response, I bounce his board to his hand. He has... Really bad if he has another mana source in his hand. If I can't let it resolve. So I either can Hercules recall in response, or I can Force of Will. If I Force of Will, he has a lethal attack, 2, 6, 9, which I bounce back. He gets to replay and then replay No Rod, in which case I can't win. So I don't think Force of Will is correct. I think in response I Hercules recall. I'm not sure. We're trying that one. This is the line I chose. We're sticking with it. I just think if I force, it's worse for me. Oh, I could still force a No Rod using my Thoughtcast. Well, no, I can only do that if I count. Oh, I'm not countering Thorns. I'm not countering Thorns. So now his Mox costs 1 and his No Rod costs 3. And if he doesn't have a land in hand, that means he can probably play... He either attack for 2 or play Volt Scourge. He has a Mana Crypt. Now he has 3, so now he plays No Rod. No, now he plays Jet. And then he plays No Rod. Unfortunately, this Toxic Deluge is just going to lose to these Mishra's Factories. Which is just, like, unlucky on my part, I think. But I guess if they were not factories, they'd probably be workshops, and then I would be dead. I'm not going to get 4 turns of Mana Crypt flips, so I can't really count on that. If he wants to play these Volt Scourges, he does have to pay some life. I guess the best thing that could happen for me is if he plays, like, Scourge, and then I Deluge for 1. I think it's the best thing that could happen for me. The worst thing that could happen for me is probably No Rod, because then I have to go down to 1 card that doesn't do anything. Then he has pretty much infinite mana next turn to like play all his guys and stand up 2 factories and hit for 4 to 6. He could just play Foundry guy. In which case I have to Deluge for 3. Oh, he's got a Tolarian Academy as his last land? No! Ugh, man, he's so good. Dude, he plays so slow. I don't think he's slow rolling me. I think he just takes a long time to figure out what his line is. Yikes. So we have to force this, and then he's got his 3 dudes in hand, which he can deploy only the 2 Scourges or the thing. So, I mean, we're not dead, but we're certainly not winning. I guess our best draw is actually just Karn, right? Well, it doesn't beat Vault Scourges, but it will eventually beat Vault Scourges with the Deluge. Let's see what he chooses to do. Going to 8 is pretty risky because he's got a Crypt. And he doesn't have a Tomb problem anymore, though. If he plays both Vault Scourges for me, that's the best for me. If he plays just the Inspector guy, that's the worst for me. He'll probably play just the Inspector guy because that'll be 8 damage next turn. But if he plays both Vault Scourges, because then he'll gain a bunch of life back with the Inspector, then I only have to Deluge for 1, and I'm not in a good space, but I'm in a better space. Yes! 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 Let's go. What we got? Tinker. Oh, Tinker. I can't do both. I can't do both. If I Tinker for Blightsteel, I take 4 in the air and 3 on the ground. At 7, I go to 2. Yeah, I don't think I can Tinker for Blightsteel. The problem is he's never gonna die to Crypts because Crypt hits for Tim to 5, and then he just plays his Inspector guy or his Chief of the Foundry and hits me for 6, and I go to 3, and then I Tinker a Blightsteel and I die to attackers. I mean, I think I'm deluging, but I don't think I can kill him with Crypt, unfortunately. I don't think that's an actual line. I don't think Tinker Blightsteel's a line because... Well, I will have the mana to deluge because I have a Lotus. So if I Tinker away my Mox... Tinker away my Mox, get a Blightsteel, and then hope he makes a misplay, and then I deluge his board if he doesn't keep a factory back. But he's gonna keep a factory back. Yeah, Tinker costs 4. Seat, Island, Mox. Tinker into a Blightsteel, and then on my next turn I can Lotus. Because my Toxic Deluge line has no possible way of Crypt killing him due to what we know is in his hand, I think I'm supposed to take a Blightsteel line and hope that he leaves back just Foundry Chief of the Foundry, and attacks with... Well, that wouldn't make sense. He would just attack in the air for 4. In which case I have to draw a Hercules Recall, but that's not too bad. Yeah, Sphinx would be kind of gas. Didn't really seem like there was a reason to bring in Sphinx, though. I think my line is Tinker Blightsteel and see what he does. He hit for down to 5. We know he has Chief of the Foundry. The most he can hit us for this turn is 5, so we can still deluge for 3. The problem is if we deluge for 3, then our Blightsteel's not lethal. So this line doesn't work either. We need a Hercules Recall off the top for us to win this game, I think. We have 2 more Hercules in our deck, so I'm pretty sure we need Hercules off the top. Unfortunate. That's fine. He drew a sphere. It doesn't matter. I mean, the sphere is not nice, but it doesn't matter. We have 6 mana, so we can't like cast 5 costs, but we don't have any 5s that we want, so. This line gives us our out of Hercule's Recall, so I kind of like this line. He probably hits me to 5. I can chief for 3, and then I go to 2 and I'm dead, unfortunately. I can... Yeah, this is unfortunate, because I took just enough damage. Time Walk. I don't... Well, let's see what he blocks with, right? I should see what he blocks with. He probably blocks with a factory. If I deluge for 3, he has 2 factories and one of them is lethal. If I attack him and he blocks with a factory, then I deluge for 3 and the factory is lethal. If I attack him and he blocks here, I can deluge for 1 and then it's lethal. I think I'm just dead. Unfortunately, Log, the spot bounce spells I typically play are Repeal, which doesn't hit Factory, right? Because it's a land. So he doesn't really have to play around Repeal. Yeah, the only way I win this game is if he blocks with both factories. Oh my god, is it happening? Chat? No, don't second guess. Yeah, do that. Chat? Please, Andy, give me outs. Give me outs, Andy. Oh my god. Oh, I have to kill my own Blightsteel. Yeah, this kills my Blightsteel, though. This kills my Blightsteel. Right? Because it's going to have 8 damage on it, and then I'm going to minus 3? That's how it works, right? It's getting minus though, right? Or it's an 8/8? How does that work? Is that... It's indestructible? Oh, alright. I figured because it had 8 damage on it, and then... So you just have to minus it all the way. Okay. He has to draw Metamorph. You did not draw Metamorph. No, not a Ballista! No! You didn't draw a Ballista. Fuck me! You go punt right into fucking top deck for the win? God. Andy!